Well, welcome to another episode of Between Sundays. I am Pastor Jeff, and I'm here with Haley Woods. Haley, thank you for joining me today. Normally, we throw it over and have the guest introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about them, but Haley actually did a whole podcast on that. So if you are interested and curious and want to know who Haley is, I just encourage you to scroll back into our podcast feed here and listen to her testimony. And so we're going to actually just jump right into our topic for this podcast, which is CentriKid Camp. I actually got my CentriKid Camp t-shirt on today. And what we're going to be focused on is just a couple elements and aspects of the camp that we were able to be part of this summer, and just kind of lay out just ideas from what that week was like, and so I invited Haley to join me because she was the adult that had the privilege of leading all of these little preteen kids at camp all week. And so we'll talk about the week. We'll talk about as a parent. We'll talk about it from your kid's perspective. And so let's just jump into maybe before camp. So like, your kids haven't been part of this particular camp before, and I'm assuming that this is kind of a brand new experience for you in general. And so maybe you can help us by starting with, like, what were your expectations before the trip? What did you expect camp to be?
So I've never been to any camp before. In my childhood, my two children have been to Camp Eagle before, so I was kind of just expecting it to be like out in the woods, campfire, dirt road kind of camp. But it was very different than what I had expected.
Yeah.
It was great. It was.
Yeah, it's a very it's definitely not an out in the woods type of camp. Yes, it's a very different experience.
Yeah.
And
up on a mountain.
Yeah. Hopefully, and it was tough to walk. It was we had to walk a lot of places and going up and down hills. And so since it wasn't maybe what you were thinking in that sense, like what did it meet that expectation in your mind as far as what it was, and maybe just speak into that a little bit.
I don't know. I guess it's just it was more energetic than I had expected it to be. I kind of thought when I think of camp, I just think of rest, and which it was rest, but it was. The kids had so much fun. Like just the workers that were there and their energy and their enthusiasm for the Lord. Like it was just, you could feel the spirit.
Yeah. And
not that other camps aren't like that. But my daughter has already expressed to me multiple times, Mom, I'm going back next year. Because I actually mentioned to her another camp, Camp Eagle, and she was like, no, I want to do CentriKid.
Yeah.
So, and at first for me, it was kind of a lot, because I am like, I can be like really introverted and just kind of just you know,
a little bit reserved.
Yes. Except with Jesus, like I can tell anybody about Jesus, but so it was just a lot of high energy, and the Lord just helped me kind of work through that because the kids need that. Like, even if it seems like a lot for me, they need that. And they're only this age one time, so for them to get to experience that, I recommend CentriKid to the kids need it.
Well, let's so one thing you mentioned was like kind of just the energy. Like even from the moment we arrived, they're loud and they're pounding on our van and getting the kids are all excited because we're finally there. And so I thought it would be helpful maybe for me to just us talk through like the schedule, so like what we actually did there. And so if anything jumps out to you like, hey, let me talk about something in relation to that, just stop me, but I'll just give a quick synopsis. So The main days are it's just basically 3 days of camp. We arrive on day 1 and then we leave on day 5, and so they have some things during those days, but the majority of camp happens on day 2, 3, and 4, and they're pretty much identical. So we have a worship time in the morning, and the worship time in the morning is kind of intended to be like ramp it up, like wake them up for the day. It's just upbeat songs. They have fun, ridiculous videos that they show. That's just just kid humor. Like there's kind of off the wall and a little bit silly, and that's the intention during that time. There's still a Bible teaching. There's still worship, but it's really about getting some energy out and started, waking them up for the day, and because we're up early, we're to bed late, and we're up early every day, and so the kids get tired. They get tired, and so from our morning session we move into recreation and Bible study, and so they just have basically back-to-back sessions where they're going out to the field to play rec games, and they're coming back and doing a Bible study, or vice versa. I can't even remember what our schedule was for this year, but that was the routine. They have rec and they have Bible study, and that's not led by us at all. We kind of have some free time. They have a leader meeting during that time where we can kind of just relax and feel energized, but they are, those kids are yelling and they're loud the whole time, and then we have lunch, and then in the afternoon the kids have an opportunity to pick tracks, which are just areas of interest. They choose that in advance, and they basically allow them to have an hour or 2 hours worth of track time where they're devoted to something that's of interest to them, whether it's art or dance or wiffle ball or swimming. A lot of them like to do swimming. And what I really enjoyed, there was an emphasis on this week's camp of like, hey, if your kid's not enjoying their track, let us know. Because we would love to get them into a group that they're going to enjoy. We want them to have fun here at camp, and because that's a big part of it. And then we try to move right into the evening session. Evening session's a little bit toned down. There's not as lot of like silliness. There's not a lot of games, and it's more focused on worship and the Word. And then from there we go to our church group time. So before I talk about church group time, is there anything in the schedule there that like kind of jumped out to you, or that you really enjoyed particularly, or maybe even from your kids' perspective that they really enjoyed that element of the week?
I liked that, not that you and I didn't have to do anything, but I liked that the staff that were with the kids were younger. My kids really liked that. And like I said, their energy compared to our energy is like, so I think that made their tracks fun, and their Bible study, and just even going off to their Bible study and their tracks and their rec, like leaving the worship time, like they would get so excited and just make it just fun. They're going to remember it. My kids loved it.
What I always see about, because you're right, we're talking young, we're talking like 19, 20 years old, like that they're out here and participating, and like I tell people that age all the time, like you really need to get in with like these middle school, these upper elementary kids, because they think you're the coolest.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do, how you act.
Yeah.
The fact that you want to be with them makes you just the coolest person that they've ever seen. And like, the guy that was assigned to our group, they're yelling his name across the parking lot and like chasing him around. They thought he was the coolest guy, and he was a real nice guy. And you're right, we had a really good time with the staff.
They're good examples for them to look up to. And for my kids, we homeschool, and like they're around other kids all the time, but like high schoolers that age, like who really love the Lord, they're not exposed to kids like that very much. So for me, for them to be able to be exposed to that, it was just,
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
Yeah, to see that like this is like wow, this
They
is
love Jesus.
Yeah, and they're like working here all summer,
Yeah.
like because they're going from camp to camp to camp, and they're experiencing all of these things,
Yeah.
and so yeah, so that's pretty much the schedule and what that looks like, except for the last day they do something called organized mass chaos, which is just a big, huge, fun game that it's kind of hard to explain. It's almost one of those things where it's like you kind of just have to come and experience it, I think. And but you can probably look up a video or something and find it. It's probably out there. But what I wanted to spend some time on is church group time, and because it is, in my opinion, what makes this camp different than, say, Camp Eagle.
Yeah.
Because Camp Eagle, in a lot of ways, has kind of the same design as CentriKid does, where they have staff. They have people that are overseeing the kids and handling all of the details, but they're handling all of it. I mean, they're handling everything. And so if we were to bring a group to Camp Eagle, we wouldn't have as much interaction with our group as we did this week. And so that church group time becomes this like key element of what is happening in your heart, in your life. What's God teaching you this week? And we got some silly answers, of course, they're kids.
Yeah.
But we also got to see some real glimpses, and they're small at this age. They're small glimpses, but I can, God is doing something in your heart. Like I can see that God is at work, and it's what helps us as church leaders bring in moments of discipleship, because we know that they're moving away from this place and they're going to have to get back into the real world, and they're not going to be surrounded by all of the spirituality that exists at camp. And so how are they carrying it with them, and then how can we help them carry it with them? And so when we're experiencing it together, it's why church group time is my favorite time of the trip, and that gets even magnified as they get into student ministry and can start practicing and participating in those real emotions. And so I think, you talked about it from your kids' perspective a little bit, but I'm curious, like as just throughout the course of the week, just seeing it through their eyes, because having those conversations, like what were some of the things that kind of came up in their minds, or just conversations that they had about just being there, or even maybe since then,
since we've been home.
Well,
we have definitely been working on that Bible study that was sent home. We do that. We have been listening to Wobble every day. Well, that is a daily listen to. And it just kind of, my relationship with Emma has changed. Just being down there with the girls gave me kind of a different perspective on, I'm going to cry, that she's getting older, and just seeing her communicate with her friends, like being together all week with them, it changed something in me. The Lord did something in me. So I've been working on some things on just how I am as a mom, just from being at camp with them. It's
sometimes hard with that oldest one, you're not really sure
like I'm still learning
how much independence to give them, and so that's one of the things that would be kind of helpful, I guess, to reiterate and make sure we land, because I'm sure that there's parents that like, I'm not sure if my child is ready for this, and maybe help give some indication just from your experience with like, maybe I had this thought before camp, and then just how that transitioned, I guess, having been at camp and now after.
I can be like a Velcro mom, and I think it's just from where I did come from so much darkness, and that's something the Lord is working with me on. But I can worry a lot, and just the enemy, my flesh, just the worst thoughts. But I would absolutely let Emma go back next year without me. The girls did great. You know, they were girls, but there was none of the things were talked about that I thought could come up.
Yeah.
Because I could hear them. Like, I'm in the room right beside them. So, but I would absolutely, if you are worried about your child going, just ask the Lord to help you and let them go. Like, it was a great experience. And I mean, even since then, like, I saw just maturity in Emma, just, you know, how she, you know, all the girls share a bathroom, so they brush their teeth together, they brush their hair together. So even that has kind of transitioned to at home. And then for Mason, bless his heart, he was so tired. He had to leave early. He was done. But he had fun. He loved it. But maybe if they're little or
that
Mason, hill is brutal.
Mason, it's a lot for the day. But even as I'm thinking, you know, I don't know if you were there or if I even communicated this. So there was a group that came in one time when we were in the coffee shop late at night during the last hang time, and a kid came in to ask their leader, hey, can you take us back to the cabin so we can go to bed early? And I'm like, hey, I want to be that leader. Like, I want to be in charge of that group. And so, but it kind of gave me like maybe we should probably have someone willing to go back to kind of let those, if we have some younger ones, and because it is a long day. And so we're still learning, making changes, and we'll make adjustments to our schedule that would best fit. But I think just in general, the idea of, I mean, this camp is close by. It's just only in Lynchburg. It's less than an hour away, and so there's lots of elements that make it, and we hope that it's releasing for some parents that are able to just say, like, hey, I want my kid to experience this. I want them to get with their peers. This is the age group where they're so in need of just friendships. They're really starting to form those friendships for the first time, and wow, camp just accelerates that so much and gives that to happen. And so I guess just wrapping up, looking ahead, you've already kind of given those indications, and so Emma definitely wants to go back. It'll be her last opportunity for CentriKid. And we'll kind of just see how Mason how Mason grows and matures over the course of the year to see.
He has actually already said he is not going back next year. No, he said he'll do day camp. I said okay. So that might be a good fit. And so this is a kind of a niche that would make sense for a lot of kids. And so parents can make that decision and decide what would be best. And so we want to just open up the opportunity, and we present like, oh, I saw Haley on that podcast. Let me ask her about her experience. And so we would encourage those listening, those watching to ask us. We'd love to fill you in on what happened at camp. We had a really good week. God is really working in our kids, and we pray that He continues to work. And we're excited about pursuing camp ministry into the future, and we're excited about what God's going to keep doing in our kids and our students, and so we thank you, Haley, for joining us, and thank you for listening and watching, and we'll see you next time.